Welcome to another episode of the EMS Wizard podcast.
What do you mean?
John.
Why not?
John.
Because why? Well, don't.
That's rude.
All right, fine. I don't care.
What was that about?
Walter's not going to be with us.
No. Walter's not with us?
Something about Terry. I don't know.
Terry, what
hang on for a second. Hello? Hey, Keith. Yeah, we're doing the podcast right now. Yeah. I'm still good for dinner tomorrow night. All right, man. Thanks. Sorry, that was
only because
my best friends. My best friends.
Yeah, we're so rude. We're trying to do a podcast here, and you guys are over here talking on the phone. And
when are we going to start?
So we already started.
I
missed the memo. We already started.
Podcast.
Oh,
yeah. I'm just a guest, but we do have a special guest. Outside of the normal guest of Mark and Walter. We have a special guest tonight, Miss Nicole Hudson. She is the Burke County EMS major over training and quality management. Nikki, it's good to see you for this episode.
Thank you so much. It is an honor for me to be on with you guys. I enjoy your episodes and enjoy the content y'all are putting out, and glad to be here. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. It means a lot.
Wow. When you said special guest, I got excited because I was like, man, I've never been called special before. And
I doubt that.
Then it actually ended up being somebody special. So,
yeah.
So that's kind of cool. Yeah. Well, right, it looks like Walter's not going to be with us. So, it'll just be us this time. So maybe we get to round robin some questions towards Nikki.
Bring it on. Let's do it.
Yeah, because we don't have the dad figure guest to kind of keep us reined in. So it's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah,
right.
Daddy Walter.
It's like a weekend in EMS when admin's not there and you can play. Excellent.
That's a good way
when
to
the cat's away, the mice will play.
Walter the cat from Harnett.
Yes.
If you know, you know.
All right, so Nikki, let's get down to brass tacks. Tell us about training and quality assurance. Tell us a little bit about what you do out there in the beautiful land of Burke County.
Very beautiful.
One, Burke County is beautiful. It is the prettiest place in the world, and I will get in a lot of trouble if I don't say specifically the South Mountains and the community of Enola, where we live, is the most beautiful place in the world. My husband will fuss at me if I don't throw that in there. But training and quality management, training is my natural bend. And then, as in most agencies, quality management always gets attached to training, seems like. And so that's where I live and what I do. I started instructing a long time ago. And like every other EMS instructor, I started with EMR, EMT classes, and then worked my way up. And as the positions came open, I got into the role of the primary training officer for all of our ALS and BLS programs in the county that are under our EMS system plan. And we train a lot. We do a lot of different things in a lot of different avenues. We don't just stick to the basics. We stick to the basics. Let's throw in some totally fun and random stuff to go with it, because we kind of do it all in Burke County. And quality management, that's the side piece of it that I get to do that ends up taking more time, it seems like, now than training. I plan training. I don't get to teach as much as I used to. But numbers are not my first language. I don't speak numbers, like I don't speak IT or any of that stuff. But if you hand me data, I can usually extrapolate it and kind of go from there and see what we need to do with it. So they keep me busy, keep me real busy.
So it's interesting that you said that you used a word there that I think is interesting in training. You said you find yourself no longer really as the instructional role, but you're a planner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And how does that make you feel?
At first, it was, I'm not ready for this. I'm going to miss teaching, and I'm going to miss the truck. And all of that is still completely true, because I'm not ready for it. I'm learning every day. I miss teaching, and I miss the truck. But I really enjoy the planning too, because I like to, what is EMS going to look like in 5 years and 10 years? And what do we do today that affects the next 5 years for Burke County? I really like that part of it. And I like filling in forms. like those ICS forms. I love those forms. They're so much fun to fill in the boxes. I like that part of it. I like the administrative role of making of the big oversight, the big oversee. I'm bad to tell our people, don't worry about that. That's just details. Don't worry about that. That's just details. Somebody else will do details, and give me the big picture. Let me see the big picture of what we're looking at. I love that part.
Nikki, you talk about being busy, and it seems like you keep your folks out there busy, because at every conference, when I'm talking with my best friends, I'm always hearing about Burke County folks being there. And so there is a lot of, sounds internal and external training, and you guys do things a little bit differently out there. So why don't you talk about some of those unique things to your agency that maybe everybody isn't aware of?
So I would love to. We do keep our folks out there. We want them doing something because, one, Burke County is the best county in the state, and we have the best EMS agency by far, and wouldn't want to be anywhere else. But we don't know everything, and we have a lot to learn from other folks that are doing things really, really well. A couple big things on our plate right now: field blood. It's been a little bit of a challenge getting it off the ground for us, but we finally gave it last week. Patient had a great outcome, great success with that, so we're really excited. And other than that, we have our special operations team. We have the Linville Gorge in Burke County, and that is basically the Grand Canyon of the East. It's a massive ditch that people love to come and see and walk through and hike through and rock climb through, and then get really confused that it's not asphalted. They don't seem to understand why there's not asphalt through the national parks, but we have that. So our special operation teams is in the Linville Gorge 400 plus times a year doing any number of rescues. We also have our tactical medicine team. We have the only two, to our knowledge anyway, the two sworn paramedics. They serve in dual capacity at the same time. So what they do is they are paramedic and sworn law enforcement with our sheriff's office. They attach to the SWAT team, and they make initial entry with the SWAT team. And they are there for the primary purpose of protecting our law enforcement partners. And we are now branching that out and adding a rescue task force that provides the next level of coverage. So our SWAT guys will stay with the SWAT team, but then what do we do with the victims of whatever that incident is when it's going to take EMS 11 and a half minutes to get there? What do we do with those victims? We're adding rescue task force, got a huge grant for that. Super excited that we've got grant funding for all the materials that we need for those guys. And then the other big thing that's super innovative for Burke County is what we call the academy, our paramedic academy. For us, what we have found is that folks want to get into EMS because it sounds like a great gig, and it is. It's the best gig ever. They want to get into EMS, but either one, they don't know how, or two, they can't leave their primary source of income to go to school. Totally get it. Absolutely get it. I've got kids that like to eat at Chick-fil-A, so I totally get that they've got to have some sort of income. So we bring them in, we hire them, bring them on full-time employees with no education, no background, no certifications, no license, and we start their pay on day one. We provide everything for them to go to school, send them to school, and they are a full-fledged employee with us the entire time. And then by the time they're finished with paramedic, they're on shift, and they're with their shift that they're going to stay with, and we do those things. But the cool gig for us is that we partnered with our community college, and we have grant funding that pays us back for those employees. So all of their all of their uniforms, boots, tuition, books, everything associated with class, we get reimbursed for. And then for all students 26 and under, we get reimbursed half of their annual salary through the expansion grant.
That's awesome. That's awesome. One thing you just mentioned, Nikki, was the blood program, the pre-hospital blood program there. And, it's one thing that we've been looking at, and a lot of agencies, I believe, in the state are picking this trend up, across the state, where there's this North Carolina Pre-Hospital Blood Consortium now. That's a group on Facebook that's growing. So what are, for these agencies that might be looking at that, for, coming down the pipeline, what were some of those challenges, and what were some of the solutions you found to some of those challenges with your blood program?
So the most challenging thing for us, well, two most challenging things. One, the first hill we had to climb was that people did not understand why EMS needed blood. Y'all don't need that. Take them to the hospital. That's all fine, well, and good if you've got a hospital within 5, 8, 10 minutes of every call that you run. We do not. Mm-hmm. Our standard transport time is 16 minutes. That's our average. So we're a long way from the hospitals most of the time. The second challenge, and this has being unique to us. I don't think challenge number 1 is going to be particularly unique. That's across the board. Challenge number 2, unique to us, is we have a very small administrative staff. We have a very small supervisory staff. We have about 100 employees. We have 3 administrators and we have 4 supervisors. And that's a supervisor for each day. So we have a very low staffing as far as command staff. How do you keep that blood cold? How do you keep it at the right temperature, but still make it accessible to the patient when you need it? That's been very difficult for us. Been a lot of trial and error. Been about 6 months to get that component figured out into a way that actually works for us. We think we've got it. So it's doable. You just have to figure out, make it unique to your service and build it out for you. Don't build your counties out to match mine. Build it out for you. And then, man, give it so that people need it. People really need that blood in the field.
Definitely a custom fit thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, a little bit of a left turn here. It's interesting that you just said a whole lot in a matter of a couple of minutes that I can remember previous episodes, people talking about specifically about blood or having to educate before they could advocate. And the other thing that you mentioned, we've talked about before, that seems to be gaining a lot of popularity. Everybody seems to be nailing it pretty well. And you don't sound like you're any different with that. And that is developing those academies, except for, in this case, you're taking them from ground zero all the way through. And are you looking at, is your agency looking at, 1, continue them all the way up to paramedic level, and 2, how long are you looking to sustain that?
So yes, to all the way to paramedic. We used to be a double paramedic service. We still aim to be a double paramedic service. We like having paramedics here. It's not really achievable right now, and just the way the industry is and the way the market is. But we want paramedics. We want a double paramedic truck, every truck we have. So that is always our goal for every employee. Our goal is paramedic, and then we make you a new goal, and then we make you a new goal and continue to make you new goals. We don't see us going away from this model of bringing people in before ground level, bring them in at the very beginning out. And the reason we did that, we got to looking at our retention and our attrition rates and some of those things, what employees stay, what employees do really well. We found that our employees that we put to work while they are in school stay with us. We counted back all the way to 2016, 17, which would have been about the time I first got into a leadership role. And all of that was when we first started saying, we'll hire you as a student. You're a student, and we'll go ahead and put you on a 24/72 shift, and you can work in that paramedic role. You work as an EMT, but you'll be a paramedic role once you're finished. And at that time, when we first started looking at those numbers, we had about 27 or so that we had done that, and we had only lost 2. So we had retained 25 of those. Now, when we look at folks that come to us with their paramedic, we hire them, we give them that pay bump for experience, we do all those things that are pretty typical, they don't stay. So we really want loyalty. I want loyalty to the agency. It's important. I just think it's important.
And that was the word I was going to use, was you building loyalty inside of that. We talk about this gap that exists between initial entry-level paramedics and what you're hiring, and how do you foster that loyalty? And that sounds like you've hit the nail on the head with that. What community college do you work with?
Western Piedmont.
And now, so because I'm a community college person in my off time, and one of the questions I got is, when it came time to do the community college, the local government thing with the community college, did you find that to be easy to navigate or difficult to navigate?
So for us, sorry, I have an employee with exposure having to deal with it at the same time. For us, it was really simple, because before I was the major training officer, I was the paramedic programs director at Western Piedmont. It was a part-time role. They've never made the pursuit to full-time for that role. They need to. That's something they need to be working towards. But I asked both bosses on both sides, I said, hey, can I keep my role as the paramedic programs director, shift it a little bit to where I do a whole lot less teaching, shift that to the instructors because they're absolutely good at it. Shift that, continue the co-EMS journey that we're on, keep that role there, and then bring that into the training officer as well. I think they will marry very well. And the only time that it doesn't work really, really well is when we get into discipline of an employee and a student, and I have to kind of walk both lines. I usually hand that off to them and say, here you go, you can have it, and tell me what you're going to do next. Otherwise, man, that's been so easy. We're unique in that you have one person in both roles. It's just made that really simple. It
almost makes too much sense.
Right. Right. It does. Don't go using your logic. It'll hurt you every time.
So I have a question for Walter. Walter, what do you think? Oh, that's right.
Oh,
He's
wait
not
a
with
minute.
us.
You forgot. He's no longer with us. Not dead.
No longer with us. He's just not
Walter,
with us tonight. You're kind of killing him off there, Mark. Walter's not dead.
Don't go.
Is he? He might be now.
What? It might be.
No.
You want to check with
No, I
Keith?
just. No.
Okay.
Why
Did he
would
answer the
Keith
phone?
know? I would call Dean Meads.
Okay. Keith would answer my phone call. Nikki, you kind of touched on this when you're bringing folks in. How do you target these folks? What are some of the things that you look for when you're bringing people into your agency? Tell me a little bit about what that piece looks like, because a lot of these peoples are strangers to you. So what is it you look for? What are some things that your agency is seeking in applicants to be part of your county?
So this is a really generic and broad answer. I want good people. I just want good people. I think you can teach about anybody to be a paramedic. The skills day in, day out, reading 12 leads, starting IVs, that's the easy part of this job. I cannot teach you to be a good person. So that's the main thing that we look for. And then beyond that, I want somebody, and this is cliche, it is cliche as the day is long, I want somebody that wants to help people. I want to help people. I want a servant attitude. I want somebody that wants to serve their community, whatever that looks like. That's really it. It's not, there's no secret sauce or anything like that. I just want good people that want to help people.
So where do you find them? When you go looking and you're saying those things, because I agree with you, it's where do you go? Do you find yourself Sunday morning sitting in a church somewhere trying to find good people there? Or are you going down to the high school and trying
asking for the altar call for y'all looking to do some saving, not be saved? If you'd like to go out and save, come on down and let me lay on hands, and then we'll talk.
Yeah, like when the preacher's up there and he says, every head bowed, every eye closed, do you look around to see who's following directions and go after them after the service?
No, they would never. Following directions would not fit in EMS.
That's what I was thinking. I made eye contact with you. Hey, you want a job?
That's the one. That's the one you want.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I get it. No, we do go to high school. We go to every career fair we can get our hands on, every single one of them. We're in every one of them, which I think everybody is now. That's not magic either. We go to, and this is one of my favorite meetings that I go to regularly, the Firefighters Association meeting. We go to that one, and I push us out every time. Hey, y'all want to come work for me? I'll pay you $13.95 an hour, and it'll be a blast. You've never had so much fun as you had with us. We do those things, and we just get it out there, and we blast social media. Is where we push it a lot. We really blast social media. I think Facebook, they tell me that Facebook's not the social media where to be for the younger folks, that my kids tell me that Facebook is, because I'm old now, and that I don't have a snap hook or whatever. And I'm not going to do Snapchat. I'm not Snapchat.
Snap hook is awesome.
I wish Walter was here to tell us not to.
Actually, I looked this up. So like the number one social media platform in North Carolina specifically is Facebook. Second to that is Instagram. And then right behind that, I think, is Twitter or Snapchat or something.
Both of which you could follow us on.
Not too long ago. So, I mean, if you've got Facebook and Instagram, you've got that business suite or whatever, you're hitting the masses.
Okay, good. That's really where we put it out there. Our Facebook page is very active. Our content manager does a good job of keeping that stuff out. I'll send stuff, say, hey, put this up. This is what we're doing. This is the length of time we want it. And we really want those academies fairly small. Of course, we do have to live in the world of state education, where you have to meet your class numbers and all those things to make ends meet. But we like those small classes. They do well. There's much more camaraderie if it's an 8 or 10 person class. And we really like that.
And that was one thing I was actually skimming through your Facebook, the Burke County EMS Facebook page a little while ago, and I was looking through, and y'all do a lot more than just training on EMS. There's a lot of, I saw some technical rescue stuff and things like that. I thought that was pretty cool for EMS systems. That's not a very common theme for EMS training.
It is for ours, because we do have the gorge, and we have a lot of technical rescuers on our roster. I am not one and have no desire to be one, but we have quite a few of them. And we just expose, we call them our kids, our paramedic kids. We expose those kids to it and say, hey, this is an option that you have after you finished your paramedic classes and you've got a little bit of experience. If you want to go to TR, go to TR. I'm going to send you. I'm going to figure out a way to make that training available to you.
The way I heard you describe it, it sounded like you said paramedics with guns in the woods. And I said, you just described every paramedic that's in the county I'm from.
Same.
But it's a little bit different in the tactical world, I believe.
Yeah, it's totally different than your home county. So when you talk about that to where they're doing that technical rescue, they're going. I've talked with some folks from Burke County before, and this isn't like, hey, I'm going, I'm going into the swamp a little bit, or I'm putting the truck in 4-wheel drive and I'm going out on the beach. Like I've heard some stories of where this is hours of walking to go get to somebody, and then y'all work with the Highway Patrol and the National Guard for the HEART program, and where they will sometimes lift somebody out. So that's a pretty unique opportunity and challenge. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we do about 400 of those a year, all of varying complexity. And we talk about the Linville Gorge a lot. We also have in our county the South Mountain State Park, and I could throw a rock from my house and hit it. It is very busy. The South Mountain State Park is at capacity every day from like March until November. They'll close it at noon. So we are in those places where you're going to need a lot of high angle rescue. And you've got to know all the ropes and the rigging and the raises and lowers and all of that mess. It can be hours. For the state park, it's between a 4 and 6 hour rescue is standard. For the Linville Gorge, it's anywhere from 6 to 12 hours. It's very lengthy for those things. And our folks just dig in, man. They love it. The folks on that team, I've got about 15 on that team, and they love it. They really enjoy that stuff. And we make it available. And hey, if you've got an interest in this, I'm going to send you to everything you need to be able to do it. So you're not stuck. I don't want to say just riding a truck, but that's not the only avenue to help folks here in Burke County. You can do all the things. That's
one call can be 6 to 12 hours when you're having to go. Wow. That's insane.
Yep.
That sounds like a very unique area to be in. I'm trying to figure out if I've ever been in Burke County. What are the cities in Burke County?
So Morganton is our big city.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Morganton and Valdez is a little bit smaller, but Morganton.
Gotcha. John, I think we've ridden the Blue Ridge Parkway, I think, through Burke, or we've gone down a little bit through Burke when we've spent some time out in the west.
If you went I-40 to anywhere in the west, you've went through Burke County. It bisects us right down the middle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. We've been through there then. Terry, stop. It's just hateful is what you are. It's just full of hate. You have to go edit that part out and catch us back up, Mark, to where we're at. Yeah, you said something special about the ambulance. What's special about the ambulance?
Like the side of it, the brand.
That is our brand. It is Table Rock. That mountain range you see on the side of the ambulances, and those are a brand new design. A Major Milton designed those. They did a phenomenal job. They look great. But that is Table Rock. You can see that specific mountain range from anywhere in Burke County. You can see it, and when you see Table Rock, that is Burke County. That is who we are. That is in the background of everything that we do every day. Is beautiful. It's beautiful. Table Rock is gorgeous.
Robbie did that. I don't know if you know that he and I are Facebook friends. So
Facebook friends, that's exciting.
Yeah, it's like a step below being a best friend, but it's still a thing.
Oh, we're not Facebook friends
yet.
Yet, good cover, good catch, good call.
Wait a minute, I'm friends with everybody.
I'm not really good on Facebook. Good on it.
About the
Facebook friends are friends with everybody. It's two different things.
Oh yeah, I know this brand. Okay, yeah. So this Robbie Milton's. Okay, I got you. I remember this now.
And our folks that our paramedics, our EMTs are really excited about being inside that truck. It's a totally new box style for us, and We got those from Fraser out of Texas, I believe, out of Houston, Texas.
That's
Texas.
the one with the generator on them that runs the box.
Yeah, and it's a well-made ambulance, and they are really liking the layout of it. So we've got 5 more on lease that will be here by the spring. So we're super excited to have 5 all at one time. It's a big deal for us to get 5 at one time.
Well, covering all the things that you have talked about up to this point or whatever, give me the rundown. This is Thanksgiving week. Give me the rundown on what Nikki Hudson is thankful for in an EMS lens.
Oh, in an EMS lens. Whew. I'm thankful for first off, me personally, I'm thankful for all of the experiences that I have had in EMS that I would have never had in any other capacity. I met a gentleman that was in the first wave of Omaha Beach. I tell that story all the time, and I would have never met him outside of EMS. And that is a true treasure to meet somebody like that. Just the people that I've met, I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for all the opportunities that I've had. And I'm really thankful, man, I'm thankful for the people that I get to work with every day. We've got the coolest people in the world that work for us, and we get to do the neatest stuff. It's a really cool gig, and I'm thankful to be part of it. Thankful to just have a little piece of the pie of it every day.
Nice. It sounds like a very diverse area. I mean, I don't know that I've had anybody really explain the different type of things that are done under one roof. You usually have the academy thing as a focus, the blood thing's a focus, the tactical things a focus, medics with guns in the woods.
That's Burke County. That's just Burke County. Now, I think that everybody has a gift, and everybody has something that they're good at. And historically, EMS has not been great at finding that gift in each person and letting them do that thing. And we really try to lean into that. Like our captain over special operations is really good at special ops, and he's really good at tactical medicine. Let him do his thing. Our Major Milton is really good at graphic design. Let him do his thing. Just let people do what they're good at. Don't peg them in a box. Don't make them be what our vision for them should be. Let them be who they are. And it works really well when you do that and let people be who they are and use their gifts. We try to do that.
Why do you think some people are scared to do that? Why do you think it sounds like, that you're bucking some trends? Mm-hmm. Why do you think some people are just afraid with that siloing?
Oh man, you get comfortable. It's comfortable. You don't know what you don't know. And once you have to start learning those things that you don't know, it's hard. It's uncomfortable. And I think that's the biggest thing. You got to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Well said.
That's a hard sell. That's a hard sell to people.
It's a hard sell. It's a very.
So how would your new young leaders, how do you have that conversation with them about getting comfortable being uncomfortable? What is the system do you think makes that okay and successful? Because that doesn't work in a lot of places.
It doesn't, and I'll be completely transparent. It's not all sunshine and roses with us either. With roses you've got thorns, and occasionally you roll over on one, you get stuck with one, and some things work and some things don't work. I think telling new leaders, 1, it's not going to be easy. 2, don't try to make everybody be what you want them to be. Don't do those things. Just don't learn from my mistakes and don't do those things. And give it time. You've got more learning to do now as a leader than you ever had coming up as a paramedic. Your job is harder now than it ever has been. The paramedic stuff was easy. Just dig in and meet people where they are. Meet them where they are and help everybody grow together.
It's a lot like every cowboy sings this sad, sad song.
It is.
It's supposed to be a music quiz.
It's a Nickelback song.
Something like.
Who's that?
Oh, those were just my kids on stage.
So Terry, it's Thanksgiving. What are you thankful for? That EMS lens.
Man, Mark, that's a great question. That EMS lens, Thanksgiving. I don't even know, because there's so many things. It's like trying to pick out. It's like trying to pick out who your best friend is when you've got a whole fistful of best friends.
It's easy.
And so many things to be thankful for. The announcement from Chief Zalkin about the Blood Coalition. I'm thankful to see that. Went to a retirement thing at the Eastern Regional Office earlier on in the year, and they actually had a map up on the wall of counties in the state of North Carolina, and it's almost like where Burke is kind of a belt buckle holding together, going to the northeast and to the southwest, just this belt across western North Carolina, out John's part of the state there, and I think that's what, for me, that I would be thankful for, is the changes that have recently been made in scope of practice, and so I'm thankful for the relationships that we have with the state office. It's taken a little bit of time. These things always take time, but the changes that are happening, the positive things that are happening, and those awesome relationships, that's definitely what I'm thankful for. But how about you, Mark? You've got a very thankful background there. What are you thankful for through that EMS lens?
The main thing that I'm thankful for through that lens is the people that I work with. The people that I work with within my own EMS agency, you guys, everybody from the people that I look up to, the mentors I've had in years past. I actually got to catch up with a mentor that I haven't seen in probably 8 or 10 years, just earlier in the week. And that was just the memories coming back, and just the lessons learned and the times that we had. Those are the things that I'm thankful for. And, reflecting on that, we are now responsible for, creating some of those memories, and I'm to be blessed with that responsibility. I'm very thankful for that. And I'm sure Nikki, as a training officer, you're in the same boat there, right?
Totally agree. Totally and completely agree. To see somebody catch the light, so to speak, or to catch that, I can do this. I can do this. And it's just like, it's the same as watching your kids learn to walk. They're going to fall down several times. And then once they do it, you're like, you did it. You did great. No, there's no feeling. There's no way to describe that, how exciting that is. Agree completely.
And it was funny, earlier you mentioned that you did training and a quality assurance piece, and Mark does training and a compliance piece. And it's like, I always joke with Mark and say, well, you must have missed a meeting, and they were trying to figure out who they're going to throw compliance on. And I feel like a lot of training officers went through that. It's like they showed up late or fell asleep in a meeting and woke up with compliance or quality assurance. So congratulations. Now you can do good at it.
We get to be internal affairs. I didn't even know EMS had internal affairs. And now that's who we are.
100%.
Yep.
So, John, what are you thankful for, man?
Opportunity. If there's one thing that I think we have all seen over the past several years, it's the relationships that we've built. I know that when we sat down to talk about just doing our officer program in Northeastern North Carolina alone, it took relationship building, and that relationship building has spread all the way across the state. I feel like the impact has been huge on breaking down silos so that people from the West talk to people from the Central to the East, and it creates this whole thing of networks. And I'm happy to be a part of that opportunity, because I still meet people that don't know that that's a thing. And so I'm really thankful just to have the opportunity to be, as impactful in there and meet great friends, in Cherokee, great friends in Raleigh, and that workforce, and great friends in the Outer Banks, and in the southeastern North Carolina. I can literally go through each region and just say, look at this impact of folks, and to be thankful for the things we didn't know about, like why certain things are. And all of us talk about this offline, but we never talk about it online because we try to keep this out of it or whatnot. But our families are strong. We have supporting, spouses and children, that do this, and we don't try to I know we don't try to pull it in here, especially on our podcast and stuff, but that helps us be supportive. My children, my wife, Terry. I feel like we're all family. Walter and Lisa as well. That I'm thankful for, to have those strong relationships. We're all different, We all have different viewpoints. That's why we wanted to put this together. And
absolutely. And I found it interesting just then. You just said your children, your wife, then Terry. Where's Keith?
That's
Keith?
weird.
Play the tape back. Keith.
So this is probably, as we wind down, Nikki, I get a lot of flack from my friends, the 1 or 2 episodes where we haven't asked this. And so if you had to pick who your third best friend was, we'll skip number 1, skip number 2, but let's just go to number 3. Who is your third best friend? 1, 2, 3, go.
Oh, my third best friend. Terry are you taken? Is Terry taken? Can I have Terry? No.
You absolutely can have Terry.
Okay, Terry,
100%.
Terry's my third best friend. Third best friend.
Okay. All right, cool.
So what we have learned on this episode is Nikki makes poor choices.
Yes.
Possibly.
Yep.
That could be it.
Yeah.
Yep. Valuable
It's
lesson.
late, y'all. Listen, it's my bedtime. It's my bedtime. I go to bed really so you're doing really well with me. Did you notice when we started, I had a cup of really strong tea? Not coffee, but really strong tea. So
I knew you were in the West. I wasn't going to ask what was in the cup.
Yeah.
that's a conversation.
Creek water. Yeah.
Something fresh from the mountains.
Yeah, Burke County Creek water.
There you go.